Does WWE have a secret plan against AEW? Confusion over Alexa Bliss? An ex-WWE star wants to work with Vince McMahon and more. I'm Luke Owen and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
We kick off today's episode with the sad news of Homicide's retirement from the world of professional wrestling. At last night's Outlaw show in Brooklyn, Homicide teamed with Bull James to take on Mike Santana and Afa Jr., which saw Homicide pick up the win in his final match. He revealed earlier in the week that he'd been diagnosed with a cyst on his brain, which prompted his retirement plans. Like a lot of fans watching this, I became aware of Homicide in the mid-2000s after I saw tapes of Ring of Honor, particularly him winning the ROH Championship from Bryan Danielson, and he quickly became one of my favorite guys, especially during his run as part of LAX in TNA. The cop/gringo killer is still one of the gnarliest finishers I've ever seen. Please share your Homicide memories in the comments down below and send him some love online. And speaking of people sending their love, the wrestling world sent theirs following his final match, including AEW referee Bryce Remsburg, his longtime friend Eddie Kingston, Will Ospreay, and CM Punk, who became an early internet meme when telling the story about how he prank called Gabe Sapolsky pretending to be Homicide talking about Satoshi Kojima. Punk even referenced this shoot interview in his Kojima match of Forbidden Door 2023. I just wanted to say, thank you, Homicide, for everything that you've done. Homicide will have seen a lot of things in his time as a wrestler, including WWE's war with TNA, which they always claimed was never actually a war because they did not see them as competition. But in this new era of WWE, there's no Vince McMahon and his old school carny ways. This is TKO, but some might say otherwise. WWE are currently on a European tour which has been incredibly successful. The shows from Spain, and particularly Monday's Raw from Brussels, have shown the power of taking Raw and SmackDown on the road outside of North America. The crowds are super hot due to not regularly getting WWE, and the time difference is not the ratings killer that it used to be. Later this year, WWE will be doing another European show in the form of Clash in Paris on August 31st. Fans noted that, much like last year's Bash in Berlin, that is suspiciously close to AEW's annual London show, this year being Forbidden Door, which takes place the weekend before. WWE then announced they'll be doing another European tour around Clash in Paris, and one of those dates is a house show in Newcastle on August 24th, the same day and in the same country as Forbidden Door. If you're not aware, we're a pretty small country. Newcastle and London, while not exactly next door, is only about a 5-hour drive or a 2-hour train ride. With tickets for Forbidden Door yet to go on sale, fans in Newcastle now have a choice to travel down to London, which, let's be honest, no one really likes to do, or stay in Newcastle and go to a show down the road. The same goes for fans in the surrounding northeast areas. Not only that, but there's shows in Liverpool on the 23rd, a Raw taping in Birmingham on the 25th, and house shows in Manchester on the 26th, Leeds on the 27th, and Cardiff on the 28th. And with how expensive it is to go to wrestling shows these days from both AEW and WWE, most fans in the UK will only be able to afford to choose one. Now I know what you're thinking, and I do broadly agree. Surely a big AEW show like Forbidden Door will be able to compete against a few small WWE house shows. Plus, WWE are doing a show in Paris, so it's purely coincidental that they're doing shows in the UK the same time as AEW. But perhaps we can also put on a tinfoil hat. 2025 has been a weird year for WWE and AEW announcing pay-per-views. As it currently stands, AEW have only announced Double or Nothing in May, All in Texas in July, and the aforementioned Forbidden Door in August. Similarly, WWE have only announced Backlash in May and Clash in Paris and SummerSlam both in August. And it's been reported that the reason AEW have kept their dates secret is because when they announced last December's World's End 8 months in advance, it gave WWE enough time to book a competing venue and run a house show close by. In the end, that house show didn't affect ticket sales too much, but interestingly, next month's Dynasty pay-per-view will be AEW's last with no direct WWE competition. AEW's Double or Nothing will go head-to-head with NXT Battleground on the same Memorial Day weekend, and WWE recently announced that a San Antonio SmackDown show had been moved from June to July 18th, 6 days after All in Texas. Not only that, but the July edition of Saturday Night's Main Event will run directly against All In. That show currently doesn't have a location, but the speculation is that WWE could run Dallas in an attempt to hurt All-In ticket sales. Regardless of where the July Saturday night's main event takes place, the ratings will affect AEW's pay-per-view buy rate. Historically, when AEW shows have run head-to-head with WWE or NXT events, their numbers get crushed. Speaking about this on Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer noted, of course, it's not coincidental. It's now clearly the pattern. He added on Twitter, it's escalated because WWE expected a far lesser TV deal and AEW as a money-losing company. When that didn't happen, the strategy changed. Now, I am sure there will be some WWE fans in the comments of this video saying that WWE aren't doing it on purpose, or if they are, good, because I don't like AEW. Or there will be some AEW fans saying, this is unfair, but the reality is, this is what wrestling is, and always has been. Wrestling promotions have run shows against each other and counter-programmed since day dot. It's a business. If anything, this shows that we, as wrestling fans, now have far more options of where to spend our hard-earned money, and I think that's a good thing. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. This week's AEW Dynamite saw Jon Moxley defend the AEW World Championship against Cope in a very good street fight that was so much far better than their Revolution main event, but featured a controversial spot where Mox got suplexed onto a board with nails in it that got stuck in his back. The spot divided opinions in our comment section on yesterday's WrestleTalk news and on the WrestleTalk podcast review, and it even got mainstream coverage on sites like TMZ. Sean Ross Sapp on Fightful Select writes, the backstage reaction to the spot was wild, with many in disbelief that after years of teasing, someone finally took a bump like that onto a weapon like that. He adds Moxley was said to be okay after the spot. Imagine taking that bump and being okay. The show did have travel issues due to the severe weather conditions in Omaha, which meant that some things needed to be changed, but Fightful Select report that AEW were very happy with how the show turned out. Speaking of Fightful Select, and there was some misaggregation on a quote from Sean Ross Sapp when talking about Alexa Bliss, which has since been cleared up. We spoke about this earlier in the week, that Alexa Bliss was removed from the WWE World event over WrestleMania weekend with no reason given. And seen as though Bliss has not been on TV since Elimination Chamber, this led to some fans questioning just what's going on. When asked about this on a recent Fightful video, Sean Ross Sapp noted that Bliss had been removed from stuff over WrestleMania weekend, but added there were plans in place for her to compete for the Women's Tag Team Championships. However, this somehow got aggregated by some Twitter outlets that Fightful reported Bliss had been removed from WrestleMania entirely, which is not the case, and not what SRS said. Fightful have since clarified, to be clear, despite Twitter accounts and outlets claiming so, we never reported that Alexa Bliss was not going to be at WrestleMania. We reported she'd been pulled from some WrestleMania week stuff, which was confirmed as WWE World. There's a chance she's added back to it. Bliss herself has now put up a tweet from that bit from Friends where Ross says that he's fine. Lastly, for the WrestleTalk news today, and Matt Riddle has made some more headlines after recently saying that he found Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, of all people, difficult to work with. And speaking with Going Ringside, Riddle opened up about his thoughts of the new TKO era of WWE and the changes they've gone through as a business. He said, I like this shakeup. I think entertainment is a business for change. They got rid of Vince, but there might also be a new opening for Vince from what I hear through the grapevine. There's been rumblings for a few months now that Vince McMahon might be trying to get back into the wrestling business, but others have shot down those rumblings by saying that Vince's plan is to do something in the entertainment world, but most likely not pro wrestling. When asked if he would work with Vince again though, Riddle replied, I'm interested in anybody, bro. I'm an independent contractor. Bro. A big thank you to everyone who has watched our Royal Rumble 2013 review, and next month sees us conclude our current season looking at The Rock's first return to WWE and his feud with John Cena. But did you know the next part of this story is available right now at patreon.com/WrestleTalk, where Ollie Davis and I review Elimination Chamber 2013, the one where Jack Swagger wins the chamber with his controversial new character change. Head on over to Patreon now to sign up to hear that exclusive episode. And to whet your appetite, here's a clip from our Rumble 2013 review. Have a nice weekend.
But before then, it's all about the numbers. I want to highlight this one because Raven makes it into the video every single year because he was eliminated by Kane in 2001.
This is a by the numbers video package. Listen to the opening of the voiceover. It's anticipation of the amazing. unvarying in unpredictability, and the epitome of excitement.
That is Vince McMahon verbiage right there.
Vince would just... I hate the way he writes copy, essentially. Unvarying in unpredictability.
It's what everyone says.
He just has a thesaurus.
It's what
and just
everyone says about the Royal
I
Rumble.
hate it. But yeah, I've got all the stats if you want them.
Oh, wow, you wrote down every single one.
I'm sad. 36 Hall of Famers have been in the Rumble. This is, of course, by this point. 724 entrants so far. Shawn Michaels has eliminated the most at 39. Then it's Kane at 35. A record of 11 from Kane in 2001, famously.
Yeah.
201,497 pounds is the total weight of all participants.
Did they do the how many big shows that is?
They did.
Yes!
It's 457 big shows.
It's the best bit about it. It's like Taskmaster. Is that when Alex Horn gives his things, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Can you give it to me in possums?
And we get another Vince McMahon quote here. That is the astronomical mass of humanity.
Ass is right.
440,004 is the attendance figure for all the Rumbles. So we've had...
Which I'm sure is accurate.
Let's just disregard the weight and the attendance figures there. 62 minutes, 12 seconds.
Is Rey Mysterio.
Longest Rumble appearance.
At this point.
3 Stone Cold victories is the most.
Yep.
Winners. 2 seconds for 20 long years was the Warlord's record.
For 20 long years, the Warlord held the record for the shortest time. That was until 2009, when Santino Marella lasted just 1 second. I wasn't ready. Can you tell that they did this every single year with the same copy? I'm pretty sure it's just the same voiceover.